Today is a day of a salute to Israel, but many people are also relating to the tensions, to the differences between America and Israel, and of course, mainly, first of all, regarding to the Iranian threat. What could and should be done at this point?
Well, I think the negotiations with Iran are doomed to failure. I don't think Iran has any intention of giving up its effort to get deliverable nuclear weapons. Even if a deal is signed sometime this summer, I think the Ayatollahs will violate it before the ink is dry. We do not have adequate knowledge exactly what the extent of Iran's program is. We don't have any adequate verification mechanisms in place for potential violations, and I think that the odds are that what this deal will do is simply legitimize Iran's path to nuclear weapons.
And when you come out, you and many other people, and protest this, what are the responses that you're hearing, and why are people continuing with this path?
Well, I think Barack Obama sees the deal with Iran, as his officials have said, is the second term equivalent to Obamacare in the first term. He believes that it's possible through negotiation to fundamentally transform the regime, its role in the Middle East, and stop their drive for nuclear weapons. I think all of these things are fundamentally wrong, but I think he is driven by an ideology that sees American influence as part of the problem, and if he can show the Ayatollahs that we are no threat to them, that they will happily give up their 30-year-long pursuit of nuclear weapons. I just think that's flatly wrong.
So what is your message to Israel, stuck in between in this whole issue?
Well, I think to the extent they believe in the next 20 months that it's likely that Iran will have everything it needs for not just one or two, but scores or hundreds of nuclear weapons, that they have to decide whether they will do as they've done twice before in Israel's history, and that's strike militarily against a nuclear program in the hands of a hostile state. It's a very tough decision, but it's one that I think they've got to face up to, because otherwise, once Iran gets nuclear weapons, any attack would risk nuclear retaliation.
And if Israel attacks, do you think that even the Obama administration will at least back Israel, will support?
Well, I think congressional pressure will be overwhelming because of the massive bipartisan support for Israel. But what Israel will need is political support right from the beginning, and a firm American position that an attack would be a legitimate exercise of Israel's inherent right to self-defense, and number two, immediate resupply of planes and other equipment that might be lost in the attack against Iran's nuclear facilities. I think this has to be undertaken very promptly, because I think Iran's response is likely to be unleashing Hamas and Hezbollah to rocket innocent Israeli civilian targets.
So let's end with a few more optimistic words and relate to today's events, this big concert, the Israel Day concert, the support for Israel.
Well, I think this is another demonstration of how broad and deep support is for Israel in the United States. It goes well beyond the Jewish community. I think there's an overwhelming understanding in America that Israel is part of the West, and that threats to Israel are threats to the West as a whole. I think that's very important, and in a time of tension between the governments of Israel and the United States, I hope the people of Israel understand just how strong the support of America's population countrywide really is.